job trying to read that one.
It would seem that we've finally gotten to the real answer, despite the craziness that has happened in this courtroom.
Yes. What a performance by Mr. Atney.
Get out! It's over! Please prepare yourself for Mr. Atney. I'm still in that dazed pose. That crazy pose.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
Well, I like the hammer. Oh wait, that's Jack Hammer. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my sentence.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
Instead of a gavel, he just slams his coffee cup.
Obviously.
You don't get much more in your face than that.
That can be taken out of context.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright.
Where did you...
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like that he was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't that lordly tailor the night of the murder.
Slam. That's right. That's why he was the one who killed Mr.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. Fight! I've got to prove that Mr. Atney was at Mr. Bullard's office that night.
What? Can you really prove it?
It's long enough, Mr. Wright. Want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atney was at KB Security, and the defense... I
don't think we can prove it, actually.
I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But, if we hear more of Detective Atney's testimony...
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Look at me is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master the Mask.
No! Well now, sir, it seems that love wins all out in the end after all. I am the case detective as well as Master the Mask, and my verdict will verify that. Just as one delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that the full force of my ace detectiveness... Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. You still have tomorrow. You look for more evidence and...
there's no point to that. By then it will be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Where's Alex Trebek when you need him? Let's play Double Jeopardy.
Double jeopardy? What is double jeopardy?
Should the defendant be tried and found innocent in the court, then the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is the fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to everyone else. Anyone else.
Mr. Atney will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master the Mask, which means...
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Game Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmead's guilt of that crime here means that he will be never again to be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer. Ugh, no. Now there's nothing I could possibly do to win, even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent. The real killer, Luke Atmead, will go free. You have a cross-examination every statement the witnesses made here today. And as long as there's no more testimony, I'm afraid that I have to declare that there would be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Oh boy. Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atmead. I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you... Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Long time no see, Phoenix. But... Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know it's really Maya who is standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master the Mask. My verdict will verify that, just as Run the Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well. Shall we prove their importance via cross-examination? At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert the right to question them. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Gatto?
Nothing.
Oh, so lawyer. It looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, look at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Gatto, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'll allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last piece of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief.
Not messing around about
yeah,
that.
if I remember. This has a lot of statements, and if you press the wrong one, it's over.
Fun fact, first time I played this game was in Japanese, and I did not know which statement, so I had to load state over and over.
Oh,
Anyways.
shit. Indeed, it's true that I was not at the Lordly Taylor. I had to leave and to see what about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron the Knight. And in thanks to that keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Light was wearing his Master the Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And that blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavadi! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. For that! The testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's early remarks do not appear to have hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over the documents. It's elementary, so lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer?
I would not allow any of your unusual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone look at me's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a second, just one chance?
Ha! Seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you can always have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. It's cup number 17, I believe. Yep.
Cup number 17, the last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
17 cups of coffee, Jesus Christ. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination.
And they're not messing around when they say one chance. If you press the wrong statement, one hit death.
Yeah, it's just a one-hit kill. Freaking
Which is also funny because if you present something for no reason, it only takes 1/5 of the live bar still.
Freaking Tim was freaking loading state. He was doing the same thing you were doing in his run at this.
But yeah, this statement is kind of obvious once you actually see it.
Yeah. I have bad whistling. Don't mind me. Press! No, this is not. Right
so
here.
yeah, how did he know this, considering even Godot did not know?
Right. Right here. Slam. Mr. Emmy, about this last remark.
You still don't get it, do you, Wright? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Gatto.
What?
Mr. Emmy, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? Hey, that rhymed. The bun did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask Starter mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. Slam. More like your deductions prove that you are a fool. I'm sorry? Whatever do you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
You want 18 cups? When exactly did we learn the fact that Rondelite was dressed up as Mask Starter Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was,
It was just a few hours ago. Like when my sixth cup was looking at me with a poster. Eh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had the chance to mention it up until now.
That's right. The defendant has yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There is no way that you should have known about that. Yeah. You're in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well,
Come on! This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chance to find out beforehand.
Slam. And it's those chances I wanted to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one, and only one way, for Detective Acme to have found that out. Only
One way, you say?
Please remember, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
But Mr. Delight never saw him. There's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Look at Me.
Objection. No. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head.
Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you would turn that statement around, it stands to follow that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
Impossible.
That freaking silhouette. It's pretty obvious.
Yup.
Foreshadowing. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask in the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed King Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known that what Ron was wearing. I think this is my favorite breakdown.
Yep, I think this is it.
I love this thing. Freaking earthquake. Take a good look, everyone. I'm able to find a rhyme worthy of my genius. I was forced to create one of myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there is a little more meaning behind it this time. Oh. What an awfully complicated incident. King Bullard was blackmailing Look at Me, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. Excuse me. I will need a drink of water after this. And upon killing his blackmailer, Look at Me tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty of Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when he making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem that we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I came perilously close to besmirching the record in the innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict.
I know, you never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. I really am Master Mask!
Huh?
So, thanks to the trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right?
Oh,
is it you said? Double jeopardy?
now that you mention it.
I've been careless.
Hairless. What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then Master Artemask is really innocent? For now, it would seem so. For now? Well then, this court finds that the defendant not guilty!
For real this time.
Yay, confetti!
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, that isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I'm still so.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that laugh really lost my voice there. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. You did it, Nick. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I mean, before you go, I'm pretty sure we can give a quick round, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of lost these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. You mean Misty Faye? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? I'll be watching you, Fab. Oh wait, I'm not Zone. Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia.
Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, no. No.
Come on, just be happy already!
Maya?
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Master Boots.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Steal security information for KB Security, becoming Master the Mask. I did it all for one reason. For her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said, no, she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Master Artemask.
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together!
That's not true, right, Nick?
Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Light, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Hinting.
The secret herb. Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are.
Oh, hi, Desiree. Mr. Light.
You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why did you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master the Mask either.
Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it?
You're leaving him to be with me. Alright.
How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away?
Darn.
After all, my bike's really fast.
Oh, shit, I bet it is.
So fast there's no way you could ever get away.
I bet she had a fucking vice grip when she came. But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Hmm? Oh, I only ate people who act all cowardly and sneaky, like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crime before he committed them like a man. I just love a man who is all so chivalrous.
Yeah, she's got good taste, that's for sure.
Chivalrous?
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spent with you is filled with thrills and excitement.
That's alright, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy,
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Now about payment. I'll leave you... okay, oh well, take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
I don't know what that ... is, but I can, leave it to your own imaginations. What? I ain't not saying nothing. I can feel my face going red. Like her jacket. Ah, shit. I knew this. I forgot this happens. Why does it everything? It's just like a typical anime. Why does it come? Somebody has to come out and ruin the moment. Ugh, great. Talk about bad timing. On that note, we'll end it here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you. No. 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 You got it all wrong. Ow. Feels just the game to the close that in my consciousness. Ron said a broken ball can never be put back together, but I think my face needs to be put back together. It's been rearranged by her freaking slaps in hell. I know that's not true. Well, maybe it could be true because my face needs to be put back together. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than once before. I should have been like, if you slap me right now and break this moment, I will tell Mystic Maya about the urn and who broke it. No, I don't forget I have that ammunition. Some bitch.
Yeah. In an eventual next time, it will be time for Case 3, which will revisit someone we know.
You know what, tonight you get no filling. Sorry, no cream filling for you, Mystic Pearl.
Oh my God.
No cream filling for you tonight. Sorry. After all that, you deserve nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Playman 100.
On that note, next time it is episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout.